Hello everybody, this is kit 3 that we're going to be doing today, which is the lovely Bluebird stamp. Some of you will have got a different stamp, but I'll go through that when I turn the camera down. So just turn this down so that I can see what we're doing. So as I say, some of you will have the lovely Bluebird stamp from Nellie Snedden. Some of you may have the backpack, and some of you may have the beer barrel, but the actual stamping and colouring is exactly the same. Just pop those to a side. I will go through the kit. So in your kit you will have all your little flowers, your gems, and the little bits that have been left which you can use as stencils. You will have your lovely leaf frame. You'll have the ombre glitter card. Yours I think is green. I ran out of the green, so I had to go on to a different colour for mine. You'll have the gold mirror card, and you'll have your base card. So what we're going to do is we'll actually put the base card together. Now you'll have a lovely hammered cream for the top layer and white for the bottom. So just go to start, and as we normally do, to put the card together, so I'm going to score. I find using the easy score as good as anything because it's just 2 centimetres on the first line, and I score it 3 times, turning over between each one. This stretches the fibres in the card, so it makes it turn more easily. It takes all the strain off the fold. And we'll stick this together. Oops. Now I always run my tape right up to the fold line, because as you can imagine, opening and closing it, you're always pulling against that close line, that score line. And in time, if it isn't stuck down, it will pull apart. And some of these cards people want to keep, so you don't want them dropping to bits. So pop my tape on, and we'll now attach the top layer. I just turn back the edges like this, and I take my top layer, I line it up in the top corner. I'm right-handed, so I put it in my top left-hand corner. If you're left-handed, it'll be in your top right-hand corner. Hold it along and take your tape out along the top and press it down. And then just ease out the one in the middle. And as you can see, it now opens really easily without pulling. So just pop that to a side with the mirror card and the other bits, and we'll go on to stamping our image. You have this little square. Now it's linen card. Make sure you stamp on the reverse, which is smoother. If you're going to be using alcohol pens, as I am, you can either use black Memento, or I'm using London Fog, which is a nice grey, or an archival ink is fine for working with the alcohol pens. If you're going to do a watercolour, you can use VersaFine, and again, there's Onyx Black or Smoky Grey. So we'll go ahead and I'll put my stamp on right in the centre of the card and pick it up. Now you will have to bear with me, it may not take the first time, as I am struggling a little bit to stamp. I'm going to do mine in grey, but it's entirely up to you. So you just tap it lightly. Don't press down too much. You can always add 2 where you can't take away. So do that and press down firmly. As I say, I struggle a little bit. As you can see, it hasn't come out as clear, but it's only because I'm so used to stamping with my left hand that I do struggle to get the right pressure with my right. But you can always add 2. But if you put too much ink on, you can't take it away. So there again. And if you struggle, if you have a brayer, you can run a brayer over, and that will also help. So just a little bit there in the middle around the Bluebird. This is not that there's a fault with the stamp. This is purely that I have not the strength in my right hand for doing this, for stamping as well as I would like to do. I seem to be able to get a lot better pressure with my left hand, which unfortunately at the moment I can't use. So there we are. So that has given me a nice image that I can colour. I'm just going to leave that for a moment to dry off, and I will put my masking sheet over there just to keep that out of the way. If you think that I haven't got my arm in a sling, it's because these are pre-recorded. I've tried to get these videos done before I had my operation because I thought it'd just make things a little bit easier. So what I'm going to do is, while that is drying, I am going to just mat and layer these two pieces onto my base card, making sure that either having a top fold or a side fold, side opening should I say, that it's on the right hand side. I'm going to run my tape onto, whoops, I don't want that, around the edge of my card. I have a tendency, I have loads of easy lift tape, but I'm afraid I just don't like using it after using this blue tape. It's just my preference. But you can also use a wet glue. I don't like using a wet glue on a mirror card, as sometimes it does migrate through to the other side and leaves a strange line. So I just use double-sided tape on mirror card. That's got that down, so let's attach this now. I always take out alternate corners. The reason being, to position it easily, you've got two corners that are not folded back that you can hold that won't grab your card. I also add glue, just some dabs of glue. When I find where I put my glue, there it is. I just put just some little dabs of glue, and this stops, it takes the static off your card, and it doesn't then grab. So as you can see, I've got two corners here that are not stuck down. I can position these easily so I can see just where I want it to be. When I'm happy, I can just push these corners down with my finger, and then I can pull out. It makes it so much easier. It's easier with wet glue because you have a bit of manoeuvrability, as I'll show you with the ombre card. So on this, I am just running glue right round the edge first, on the outer edge. While I'm there, I will run it round on the inner edge, and I've just realised that I am going to have to add this to the inner side of my, whoops, if I can just bring up my, what's it, Matt? Right, this needs to go on. I can colour it through this, so you can centre just where you want it. I'm just going to wipe this off. And just wipe this off a little bit round here, because I want to pop this on with a bit of foam tape. And I can colour it while I'm waiting. I'm using the Couture Creations alcohol pens. I love these. They really are juicy. They're beautiful. So I'm using the narrow tips. Just going to you don't have to be precise. Just put little dots. It's not a case of being accurate. You're only giving a hint of colour on this. And you can see on the, it's like, I think the willow branches are these. They're beautiful. And just, you've got the little areas that you can see just to add your colour. And just keep going round until I've got all the little bits coloured in. And again on the other side there's a little bit. I think that's got that. I'm just going to put some little dabs in the centre of these flowers while I have the yellowy gold open. Oops. You can see you don't have to be too accurate, but just to give a nice indication of what your colour is. So now I'm going to go on to my lilac, and that is got some odd little flowers on these in the lilac-y purple. It could be lavender. I don't think it's wisteria. It doesn't seem to be growing like wisteria. So just do those on there. I'm going to do some little flowers on here. And let's see, where is there some more little ones there? And we'll have some pink. Some little pink ones there, little pink buds, some little pink ones there, and a little one there. I see I've just missed a little bit of purple here, there's just some little oddments there. Going to do my bluebird, and again myself with that, and now we'll go on to some of the green. Excuse me, I'm just going to have to cough, so I'll just have a drink for a moment. So again, just dab your leaves. And we'll use two different shades of green just so that it gives you a comparison. Little buds. Don't worry too much about the overall background. That just blends in nicely with the grey, and I'm just using a slightly darker green. I've maybe gone a little bit too dark on this one. I think I have. I've gone a little bit too dark on this, so I do apologise. I should have chosen, I thought it looked a lighter green when I pulled it out. bit more yellow, I think, on there. And if you just feel it needs a little bit more to just fill in, just add some dots of colour. And I'm sure you'll take a little bit more time to do yours than I am with this. Just want the, I'll do the purple one, I think, on there. And move those out of my way onto. So you'll probably take a lot more care in doing yours. I much prefer using watercolours, but just at the moment, to get at my watercolour pencils, I've got a whole pile of boxes in front of it, so which I've packed away for while I'm going to be laid up. But that is how I've done that. So now we are going to add our lovely frame onto this. And that's the wrong one, that's the one. If you've got the 3mm tape, it's ideal because that will go around. I tried to cut them so it just gives you room to put the 3mm tape on, and then you don't have to put a lot of glue. You can put odd dabs of wet glue just on a few of the leaves. It'll just help to hold it down. Got these that'll just go nicely in the middle, and I've just emptied that reel of tape, so I'll just get my other one out. And find the end. And again, just run this round. All these, you will have room to just add your tape. It makes it so much easier for sticking down, especially on the glitter card. This blue tape holds it really, really well. Again, just run it to there. This one across this one here. Make sure these are well stuck down. I'm going to take off all the inner pieces to start with. I'm then going to add some dabs of glue onto the leaves before I take the outer edges off. It just gives me somewhere to hold that I'm not getting stuck to all the time. So do that, whoops. And I said just on some oddments, just to give it a little bit of extra hold. Doesn't need a lot because the tape is strong, but this will just help to hold it down and them not catch. The price for this kit is the lovely Nellie Snellen embossing folder. So when I upload the video, I will upload the price for it. So make sure you share your makes, and then we'll choose a winner and they will receive the prize. Nearly round, just odd little dabs of wet glue. Doesn't need a lot, but just enough to just give it a bit of extra hold. And I will now do the same as I did before. Oops. just take my corners off. And we just need to hover nicely over, so you should have just a very, very narrow border all the way around. I think I've done that one the wrong way. Let's turn it that way. They may just vary slightly. That's better. And then pull your tapes out. Whoops, that one's got stuck. And that's those. Just make sure you just run it round. No, mine's gone a little bit skew with. I do apologise. So I am just going to trim this off with my knife. It sometimes happens, but unfortunately when you haven't got the full use in one arm, it's you lose a little bit. Brings it a little bit better. So we've got it to that stage. We now want to add the foam tape on the back. And again, all the way around the outside edge. Oops. And I shall just put a little bit in the middle just to stop it from dropping. So let's run a bit across the middle and a couple of little bits on these edges just to hold it flat. I'll bring the card in and we will pop it onto the card. Again, taking just the alternate corners, filling the alternate corners back, and take, oops, that one doesn't want to come off, and then taking all the backing off the middle bits, and I will add the dabs of wet glue as I did before. Just some little bits just to take off the static. Again, making sure that I've got the card the right way round. And if you're in doubt as to what border, just turn it over and just check where it wants to go. So it's just a very nice narrow border. Like that. Now I haven't put a sentiment on this, but I've left it, as you can see, I've just put flowers at the bottom. You have room to put a sentiment, put it right, a sentiment either up at the top or across, and you can use it then for whatever occasion you want it for. It may be for a birthday or it could for a get well, so I've left them completely free. I'm just going to start on my little flowers and leaves. And I can get my leaves out that don't want to come out. Oh, excuse me. So you've got quite a variety of little leaves. Some of these, they may need the centres just poking out a little bit. Some of them haven't all come out. but they do pop out quite easily. So what I'm going to do is, that one hasn't come out, is I'm just going to pop it down at this corner. Just add a few little bits of glue to the back of them. They don't want a lot, just enough to hold it down. Don't want a lot of glue, just a little bit. And whoops, don't want to come off my fingers then. Oops, I didn't want to stay stuck. I'll leave some of the other bits until I've got some of the flowers on to just see exactly where they want to go. So I'll start off with those. Keep those other little bits of leaf at the side. I'm just going to get rid of those little bits. And I'm going to take my flowers out. Now I'm starting off with the bigger flowers, so if you just separate them on your pad, I use a foam pad. I just want to give them a little bit of shaping, and it's easier if you're putting centres into them from these. It's easier to do it while they're on your mat because they are small. Where is my, lost it, where is it? That's the one I'm looking for. So, you know, I'm just sort of giving these a little bit of a push in the middle, the bigger ones. And I'm going to add some of these little tiny little bits, these, if you can see these. I'm going to add some of those as centres. So I'm just going to get these all to one side so that I can use these. Let's see, where have we got? We've got some more there. I think most of those, oh, there's another one. I mean, you can do these as you want. Don't think you've got to do what I'm doing. This is just my idea. And you can choose whichever you want to do. So I'm going to add, whoops, where's it gone? Add that one into the centre there. And again, just push it down a little bit to catch it firmly. So let me see, have I got a bit darker one on that? Is there maybe a... Oh, look. Put that one onto there, and again, just push firmly down. Oops. And let's have another little bit of glue on this one. And on those. So that one. Right, so where are we? Let's have a look and see. Get some of these with a bit darker colour maybe. It doesn't look as if they're all fairly pale, so just pop that one, whoops. That one onto there, I'll hit that. And just have some of these. With it being the ombre card, sometimes you do tend to get a lot that are all the same colour, but we can work on all those, so we'll let those dry, those smaller ones dry for now, with the centres in. We can add the gems at this point if you would like, or you can wait until we've actually got them on the card. So now I'm going to, that's another one there. So on, let me turn some of these over. So I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to put one of these on there because it's a different colour, so it'll show up a bit better. Oops, it will if it stays on. Oops. Most of these now you could put on as individuals if you wish, or you can keep them and use them for shaker cards. There is a lot, you get a lot off the little punch, the little stamp for them. So these, we can just give these just a bit of shaping before we stick them down. So go on and we can start popping these on. Just pop them on randomly. They don't need to go in any particular order. Just any random, oops. And then you can just mix the others in with them and just build it up. So just pop these, whoops, I've lost that one, where's it gone? So if I pick some of these up with my tweezers, it's a bit easier. I'm going to have to do it the other way because I can't use my left hand for it. So just try and mix the colours. Just pop some of these up the other way and I can pop some glue on the back of them. You can use wet glue, you can use the glue glaze, you can use the pin flare. It's entirely up to you what you put them on with. It's just that I happen to have the glue at hand. So let's pop that little one there. Just mix them in and just press them down. And this one can go here. And another one can go there. And so it can go in there. Oops, I've got a bit of fluff on that one. That doesn't want to stick, so let's see where can that one go. I'll put that one there. And it could go there, I think. Oh no, let me see. So I've got some of these little tiny ones, so what I'll maybe do is just put little dabs on these and pop some of these little tiny ones onto them. Just mixes the colour in a little bit. And there's a little one there, oops, doesn't want to come. That one can go on there. what have we got? Let me see. I think just maybe one in there. Can just have another little red one in there. Oops, that doesn't want to. I'll put that on there. Oops, doesn't want to. I'm going to leave that at that, and I'm going to start and add some gems. So just get rid of these other little bits off here. Else they're going to end up going all over the place. And I don't fancy being on my hands and knees picking these up, so get rid of that. So now I can add a few more of the leaves. So that one can actually just slot under there. Slot that one in there, and there should be a little tiny one. And just hold that, I think with my tweezers it might be easier. Maybe just slide that one under there like that. And then we want to just dab the centres with a bit of glue. Oops, that one isn't stuck. It does tend to take a little bit longer for the glue to dry on the ombre card, so it's best not to rush it if you can help it. I'm now going to pop the gems on and I can get into them. And it just gives it, oops, I didn't want to stick down, didn't that? Got some glue on my tweezers and it's catching everything. That's got it. These just, the centres, the beads, just bring these flowers then to life. Makes them just stand out that little bit more. That didn't want to stick. As I say, it does take a little bit longer for the ombre card, the glitter card, to hold, so don't try to rush it on those. As I am, maybe just, I would have let this dry for a little bit longer before I put the gems on, but I just wanted to show you how it looked with the gems, and I think I've got all the gems on there. That is my card that I've done and finished today, and that was the sample card, so you can see how it looks with the green and how it looks with the red and gold. Now I hope you enjoy making this card, and please share your makes for a chance to win a prize. So hopefully you've all enjoyed this, and it'll probably be uploaded. It's probably going to be April now, so I haven't got a date, but it will all be on the website. So take care, enjoy, bye.